We painted before that, we painted all of the deck structure, which is all the deck beams on every surface with 2 coats. We then got all the plywood painted 2 coats as well to make it easy for us to put the gloss on later on. It's very difficult to paint upside down the whole job. We V-grooved from the forward part of the wet well, all here. The boards got V-grooved on the CNC machine prior to going down, which we can see in a moment when we go below. From the back half of the wet well through to the stern section has all been left un-V-grooved because it's in the engine room where the fuel tanks and all those sort of things will be, and we'll put sound insulation on it, so there was no need to have them V-grooved. All of the deck beams throughout the whole boat have been marked out quite clearly so that when we screw the Oroco decking board on top, we'll be able to know where the fastenings go. You can see the plywood's been screwed down only as much as necessary because the Oroco will get screwed on with 2 and they'll go right through the plywood and into the beam below. So we don't want too many screws at this stage of the project. We fiberglassed the deck last Friday and that's got pill ply on it at the moment to protect it until we need to put the deck down at a later stage. I've recently been putting all of the bulwark stanchions which have been painstakingly repaired and replaced when necessary. So they all have been fitted in, a nice fit. So they've all been fitted to the boat and initially drilled with the 3/8 bolts. It'll get nailed later on in the job. So I drilled the holes and then I've come along now and routed in every single position back through. So the notch sits on top of the gunnel. So it gets routed right at the depth of the plywood through. And then it's also been, the end grain of the plywood has been fiberglass. So now I'm at a stage where I can put the covering board on top and then copy route back through into this hole and then drop the stanchion through the covering board as well. And then that will mean that later in its life there'll be no way that water can get down and into the end grain of the plywood. Once the covering board's on, we'll move on with another stage of the project, but we're going to try and get all the bulwark stanchions fitted with the covering board. That allows us to put the chafing batten onto the boat and then get the outside of the hull all painted and caulked up, which will make the project move along. So the wet well boards have continued up through the deck. We want to eventually see the top square of the wet well with the finished deck, so we've left this high and fiberglassed up. We'll then lay the deck here, which will be 22mm thick, and then flush cut the top of the wet well so that when the job's finished, the decking hatch and everything will be a flush finish with the top of the deck. This piece of plywood here that's been not fiberglassed yet, that's where the engine will be able to drop through in and out in the boat's life if it ever needs to be removed. The beam under here is just a knockout trimmer, so we can easily unscrew that, lift this bit of flooring which is actually inside the wheelhouse, and then the coach roof will also be trimmed out at the same spec, so we can lift the motor out at any stage without cutting into the job too badly. Master cabin of the boat, there'll be a door here and this will be full height standing. This bulkhead will come right up. You'll then be able to step down and walk along the side of a double bed. The berth will come from about here. You can see all the V-groove lining on the underside of the plywood deck. That's all been done with the CNC machine. All the deck beams have been painted, as I said earlier, and the gunk has been painstakingly removed by the owner of the boat actually. Here are the pre-bored holes for all the bulwark stanchions. So they'll come through and get 3/8 bolts just the same as the beam shelf bolt here. And then we'll also, depending on the length of the stanchion, clench or rove a few nails through the planks. And then once that's done, we'll then put the lining on just the same as we have below. So we won't put the lining on there until the stanchions are put through. So you can see that everything's been nicely painted and this will be ready for a sand and a gloss towards the end of the project. But it's push it to the head a lot easier than having someone lay under here and paint it. On this side you can see this cabin's slightly smaller because of the offset head and bathroom in the boat, but here's a stanchion that's been put through just temporarily, so you can see that this is where the nails will go, and the bolt holes line up perfectly now that it's been dropped through. So there's a lot of work in pre-fitting all of these, but it means that there's no surprises when we come to fitting them the last time, because otherwise you'll make a mistake and the whole project will be delayed. The plan for the next little while is I've got one more stanchion in the stern, the final one to fit. I'm then going to put all the covering boards on, get them finished, and then bolt all of the stanchions in. We'll probably then move on to putting the chafing battens on, and then once that's done, we're going to work on the engine alignment. The engine just arrived the other day, it's upstairs, so we'll put the engine logs in, and once the motor's in the boat, we'll have a good idea of where we want to put all our floor beams in here and get the stern section of the boat roughly worked out the same as we've done in the bow. There's a lot of work and design to be done in the stern, so we'll push towards getting that done shortly.
I'll wait for you, I'll wait for you, I'll wait for you.